Pante is located in Switzerland and designs, manufactures and sells equipment for embellishment for the label industry. But today our focus is not on the equipment we are selling, but on the question how to create an extraordinary label. And I would like to start the webinar with the question, what is an extraordinary label? And we are of the opinion that there are two aspects of an extraordinary label. One aspect is related to your brand, because an extraordinary label has to convey your brand image and it has to appeal to your customer target group. The second aspect of an extraordinary label is related to the position it has in the market, because it should differentiate your product on the shelf and it should encourage the consumer to pick up your product. At the end of the day, an extraordinary label increases your sales. Now we look at the label design itself. When you are designing a label, especially an extraordinary label, please involve all your partners and suppliers as early as possible. Most importantly, the label printer, because at the end of the day, he needs to produce the label. It's also important that you consider all the elements of the design, like what kind of material you would like to use, what kind of substrate, what kind of foil, because there are so many different substrates or foils on the market. It's really important that you look at all different options and choose the one which suits best to the design you are developing. Also look at the printing technology. Are you looking for very fine vignettes? Then probably an offset printing technology is required. If you are looking more for a heavy ink laydown, then screen printing would be required. And if you are looking for very strong colors, then probably flexo is the right choice to print your label. And if you would like to combine all of those different aspects, then your label printer should be able to offer you a print technology combined in one machine. If you want to create an extraordinary label, you most probably need to embellish it in one or the other way. Therefore, you need to consider the different embellishment options available. And we will look into those in just a minute. At the end of the day, and this is also very important, please always consider also the feasibility and the cost of the design you are aiming for. So what kind of embellishment options are available? And I would like to start with embossing. High, sharp, crisp embossing is often used to create a 3D effect on the label. And normally the 3D effect is around the branding, the letters of the branding, as we have done here, where you can see that we have made a special sharp embossing 3D effect of the labels. Technically, your label printer needs to use flatbed technology in order to obtain a very high embossing. Important also for him is that his equipment can generate a high embossing pressure and the dwell time is as long as possible. The longer the substrate is within the tools, the more stable the embossing will be. A second aspect of embossing is nano or micro embossing, which is used to create very fine structure in the foil, like we have done here, on the frame of the foil, or on the substrate itself. Technically, your label printer needs to be able to control the embossing pressure electronically. A very common embellishment option is foiling or multi-foiling, used to create metallic or shiny effects on the label. You need to use hot foiling if you would like to achieve very sharp edges, like here, which allows you to integrate very fine lines or even very fine elements in your label design, like we have here, right? Also, when you are using open substrates, then hot foiling is absolutely required. Applying hologram or 3D spatial images or lenses in register is only available on the market since a few years and is used to create a focus point on the label. So what we have done here, over this design element, we have placed a lenses so that the customer or the consumer is attracted to that information we would like to convey, that the wine has been awarded a gold medal in 2016. So holograms, lenses are used very scarcely just to create the focus point on a label. Technically, your label printer needs to control the foil motion by servo motors, and the foil guidance needs to be friction-free. And to create really an extraordinary label design or a design element, you can or you should combine the different embellishment options. And we call it a multi-stroke design. Like what we have done here, and I will afterwards show the entire label, but just for this element, we have integrated nano embossing, we have integrated normal embossing, we have a silver lenses here, and we have gold foil around here. So 3 different embellishment options combined just to create one design element within the label. Now let's have a look at 2 samples. So this is the first sample. This is a Keybourg gin sample we have created. And on the closure label, which is placed here on top of the bottle, we have used gold foil, foil embossed, and the ring, the outer ring, we have partially nano embossed to give it a special structure or texture. Then we have the Keybourg and also some of the geographical form or shapes in the design. We have foil embossed with a transparent foil, and we have used a gold foil for the very fine lines, which is here in the center of the label, and also for this element, design element at the panel of the bottle. These design elements, in addition to the gold foil, has also been partially embossed to create a texture. And as you have seen in the picture before, this element, 3 strokes has been needed. We have combined micro embossing, we have combined or added a HoloLens, gold foil, and transparent foil. So the whole label is just one color print, black on white substrate, and all the rest on the label has been created by combining the different embellishment options which are available. The second label is the wine label for this kind of bottle, where on the neck label we have applied these holo lenses so that we can create the attention of the consumer. Then we have foil, golden foil, for the frame. In addition, we have given the frame by nano embossing or micro embossing texture, and we have created the fine lines here for the sun and for the emblem. And with the black foil, the second foil we have used, we have created the entire image up here, and we have used the black foil together with 3D embossing to bring out the brand keyboard. The uniqueness of this label is the label has not been printed at all. The entire label has been created just by foiling the label. To create an extraordinary label, you need to keep a few points in mind, and they are, in our opinion, extremely important. So first of all, give your designer a brief, what image you would like to convey, and who is your customer target group. Involve your partners and suppliers as early as possible. Most important, in our opinion, is really the label printer, so that he can always give his input about feasibility of the design to be printed or created on the press, and also about the cost you are involving. Also important that you need to take all design elements, substrate, print technology, even go to the bottle you are using into consideration, so that you can really create this extraordinary image which will appear on the shelf. And keep in mind that designing an element is an interactive process. It goes not just straight down the road. You need maybe to go 1 or 2 steps back, review whatever you have done before, and then come up with a new solution. So I would like to close the presentation of this webinar with a statement from our design agency, SQ. As SQ has created these labels, the keyboard labels we have on our products. They have a very wide experience in the design of the labels for the wine and spirit industry, and they have a very deep understanding about embellishment and printing. And they are saying that the best results are always achieved when designers and customers involve print professionals at the early stage and inform them about their wishes and requirements. Because then costs can be saved and quality can massively increase.